Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, I was hoping it was going to go a little bit smoother the second time around, and, I mean, I guess it did, sort of. I mean, didn't have any, audio issues this time, but, stream kept on crapping out, so, I mean, you can weigh the pros and cons of each and decide which one's worse. I'd rather have the crappy audio with a working stream than having no stream at all with good audio, but I'll get this shit figured out eventually. Anyway, so I guess this will be a sort of a test stream to see how things go. So far, so good. Twitch, Kick, YouTube. All right. So far, so good. I'll just keep an eye on that, and all one of you that are actually watching this right now can help me out and leave a comment in the chat if the stream starts going to shit again. If you don't mind. Anyway, let's get back into those stories that I was working on before everything went to shit. So, yeah, I mean, the right's doing what the right does and trying to blame everything on Democrats always because, that's the only thing they can do is just try and spin everything negative as well. First they have to spin everything as negative, and then they have to blame everything negative on Democrats. So naturally, when ever Trump gets shot at from now on, and I'm sure there'll be others because that seems to be the way the political winds in this country are going these days. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be blaming the next one. Remember, like, he could be wearing a MAGA hat when he does it, and they'll still find a way to blame it on Democrats, even though the first guy was literally a registered Republican. I mean, how they're spinning this that he's somehow a Democrat, I don't know. He made like one donation of like $15 to a Democratic PAC at like one point in his life, but other than that, he's a gun nut. He's a registered Republican. He voted Republican. His neighbors saw a bunch of MAGA crap on his front lawn. Like,
neighbor Kelly Little had few answers for the FBI and just as many questions herself. She said until recently there were pro-Trump signs in the Crook's front yard.
There absolutely was MAGA supporting things for a while.
yeah, so, sounds like a real libby libtard to me, doesn't he? Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, that's the way they're spinning it. The way they always do is just anything they don't like is 100% the fault of Democrats.
Hitler, Vladimir Putin. Now, two psychotic Democrats took that rhetoric to heart.
Yep, two psychotic Democrats. A registered Republican and a guy that's completely batshit insane and all over the political map. I mean, I don't know how the guy, this last guy was just, I mean, I'm leaning more towards blatantly insane, but I guess he doesn't fit the legal definition for insane because he can't plead insanity, from what I hear, simply because he ran when the Secret Service shot at him. I'm not sure how that works, but I mean, I guess they're saying that if you're sane enough to know to flee, then you're sane enough to stand trial, is at least the way that experts are explaining it. So apparently he won't be able to plead insanity. But yeah, I mean, the guy literally says he supported Trump in 2016, although his voting history would say otherwise. last time he voted was in the primaries for Democrats, but other than that, he hasn't voted in, I'm pretty sure, like almost 15 years, but he said he supported Trump, and then he's got a whole buttload of tweets supporting Tulsi Gabbard. His Twitter's been taken down, but I have a video of all his tweets, and I could post it on the Discord if anybody wants to see it, and go through and snapshot thousands of tweets and use that for whatever purpose you want. But he's registered unaffiliated. I mean, multiple sources are confirming he's registered unaffiliated. And the Biden-Harris sticker on the back of his truck is what's really doing everybody in. It's hard to claim he's a Republican with a Biden-Harris sticker on the back of his truck, and the last time he voted was literally in the 2024 primaries for the Democrats, so... But then again, he's over here saying that he wants Vivek Ramaswamy or whatever the hell his name is, and Nikki Haley to form a Republican ticket, and he's supporting Tulsi Gabbard. So I don't know. This guy is just nuts. He's got a rap sheet a mile long, dating back to like 2002, where possession of a weapon of mass destruction, which apparently was just a machine gun. Which, I don't know, maybe it was like, I don't know, a Gatling gun or something, but he's, maybe the way they classified, weapons of mass destruction were really loose back then, and, guns were considered, if they had like high capacity magazines, maybe they were considered weapons of mass destruction. They sure as shit don't consider them that now, that's for damn sure. But in 2002, he barricaded himself inside a business with a gun. So, I mean, no matter what, the guy should have just never had access to a gun in the first place. But, thanks to Trump, he made it easier for mentally ill people to get guns, and now a bunch of mentally ill people are shooting him. Hey, I wonder if those two things could be connected somehow. Probably not, must just be a coinky-dink. But, these, the same Republicans that are making it easier for everybody to get guns and want to put guns in schools are now faced with the reality of what that would actually look like when crazy assholes become teachers. Like, I mean, you know how many teachers I see scrolling through Tinder? I mean, like, when you're on Tinder, like, every other person in there is like a teacher or I mean, it's too easy to become a teacher in this country, and I mean, they're really underqualified. But, I mean, apparently, some of them are blatantly batshit insane. Like, the guy in Union Parish, apparently, because, a teacher at Downsville Community Charter School for, guy's 70 years old, threatening to shoot third graders. I mean, yeah, good job, Republicans. Let's give all the teachers guns. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, I don't condone any of it, but I can sure as shit understand a teacher wanting to shoot up a school more than students these days with how crazy kids are. Not that any of you idiots should ever be shooting up a school, but I mean, this is what the end result's going to be of arming teachers. I mean, there are a lot of crazy-ass teachers out there that honestly shouldn't be anywhere near kids, let alone teaching them. But I highly recommend against giving them guns. But I mean, Republicans, the more guns the better, apparently, despite all the evidence to the contrary, and, Trump bragging about how he did nothing do anything at all to control, even assault weapons, never mind guns, just assault weapons. He just openly brags about doing nothing. This was at his RNC speech. Last year or early this year. literally bragging about how he did nothing with guns.
Having to do with guns, we did nothing. We didn't yield.
And if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened.
Yeah, it's almost like you should have done something with guns there, dingus. But, you know, I mean, no matter what. I mean, like I said, the guy could literally be wearing a MAGA hat and, you know, MAGA shirt with, like, Trump's face on it and be screaming, "I love MAGA" from the rooftops, and they'd still somehow find a way to blame it on Democrats because they're just absolutely insane. These people are, you know what? That's the thing. They're not insane. They're just pathological liars. I have no idea how these people sleep at night, knowing like the chaos they're causing for innocent kids in Ohio right now that can't go to school because idiots are calling into schools with bomb threats and now a hospital with bomb threats. Like, how many people, like, at least one person had to die in that hospital because they were, like, not able to get the care they needed because, you know, a bomb squad was going through the hospital, checking things out and making things work. I mean, like, this is fucking insane. And, you know, these people just don't give a fuck. Whatever they can do to spread their lies and, you know, maybe, I don't even know what their plan is. Like, the only people that are going to be, like, swayed by this shit are other Republicans. But, whatever. And then we got, the final story that I wanted to get to, was who the fuck is Jill Stein and why does she crawl out of the woodwork every 4 years to be a spoiler candidate in the next election? Because, man, I'm sick of this woman. This guy who everybody should follow, I have no idea how to pronounce his name. I mean, Pekya Kaliyoniami. I'm sorry, bro. Whatever this guy's name is, yeah, everybody go follow him on Twitter and whatever. Subscribe to his things. You think he's got a Substack and all that, buy his books because he's great. He does deep dives into all these Russian stooges that are just blatant puppets for Putin that are all spreading now Russian propaganda in America and Canada and Europe and all over the world apparently. Yeah, he did a deep dive on Jill Stein, so I'm just gonna go through the whole thing because I mean there's no way that I could break it down better than this guy did, so let's go through it now. Let's where's page 1? Page 1 is just kind of an introduction. Okay. Stein's background is in medicine, and she graduated from Harvard Medical School in 1979. During the 90s, Stein turned to activism and subsequently received various environmental awards for her work. Stein began her political career by running for governor of Massachusetts in 2002, but only got 3.5, this was 0.5, of the total vote. Her following campaigns were also massive failures, and the only election in which she managed to secure a seat was the local legislative body in Lexington, but that didn't stop Jill, as in 2012 she decided to run for president with the Green Party. Her campaign consisted of unrealistic promises of putting 25 million people to work, and she was endorsed by people like Russia-funded Chris Hedges, Code Pink founder Medea Benjamin, and the academic and genocide denier Noam Chomsky. National peace leaders or support for Stein. Code Pink denial. Okay, so these are all just pictures of Professor Chomsky said he will probably vote for Jill Stein for president in an effort to push a genuine electoral alternative. And that's what they always claim, isn't it? Just that we want an alternative to the two-party system. But then, you know, I mean, their alternative is always some Russian stooge. In 2012, Stein received 36% of the total vote, which is why she also decided to run again in 2016. This time, she decided on a different strategy. In 2015, she traveled to Moscow to attend the RT 10th anniversary party. While there, she criticized foreign policy. Yeah, that's her, sitting at a table with Vladimir Putin, which, I mean, you know how hard it is to get close to this guy?
Так масштабно. Общее количество
That's the back of her head. But, yeah, there she is, all buddy-buddy with the Russians at RT, which I believe was just banned on YouTube and a bunch of other platforms. Or no, it was Meta banned them on Facebook and Instagram and all that. Anyway, while there, she criticized U.S. foreign policy and human rights situations. She was seated together with Vladimir Putin, but somehow failed to remind him that Russian imperialism is bad and Russia should stop annexing and invading sovereign countries. For this, she blamed the language barrier, although Putin speaks English. So, you know, it's the usual bullshit excuse. In Moscow, Stein calls for foreign policy of principled collaboration. Sure. Unlike Donald Trump, both Hillary Clinton and Jill Stein released their tax returns. Surprisingly, Stein had $8.5 million US invested in funds in the industry she had harshly criticized, including energy, financial, tobacco, pharmaceutical, and defense contractors. Yet she refuses to say one damn word about Putin, which tells you how much money she probably has tied up in Russia. Green Party Jill Stein defends big oil fund investments after smear attack. Oh yeah, it's a smear attack to point out that she's being paid by the fucking lobbyists. She's, God, I hate this shit. Stein ultimately received 1% of the national vote in 2016 election, but she played a significant role in the swing states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, which is exactly the shit she's trying to do now. As Trump's victory margin was smaller than Stein's total votes in these key battleground states. And that's all it takes. So if anybody thinks that their vote doesn't count, guess again, because I mean, there is literally, what was that, there was some election recently where literally the guy won by a single vote. And if you think for 1 second that would ever fly in America, oh, there would be riots in the streets. So get out and vote, people. Make sure you're registered. Trump's victory margin smaller than total Stein votes in key swing states. Yeah. Trump, 47.4, so 1 point. Isn't that? That's like 0.2%. Oh no, okay. Yeah, wow. Jeez. 51,000 and there's like a 11,000 vote difference between the two. Jeez. So yeah, don't think your vote doesn't count. Get the fuck out there and vote. Following Trump's victory, Stein spearheaded an effort to recount votes in three swing states. The recount was a lost cause, but oh my god. Can't read today. The recount was a lost cause, but Stein managed to fundraise $7.3 million for it. In May 2018, only $1 million of the money only $1 million of the money was spent, and the rest is allegedly stashed somewhere else. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the reason that 90% of these presidential candidates that know they're not gonna ever win run. I mean, nobody likes to talk about that, but all that money that you donate to these dipshits, anything that they don't spend during their campaign, they get to keep afterwards. So you're literally just handing over millions of dollars. I mean, like, running for president is like one of the most lucrative gigs you guys could ever possibly do. Even if you don't, you know for a fact you're not going to win. This is why she crawls out of the woodwork every 4 years to be a spoiler candidate in an election, because morons that are actually dumb enough to vote for her, or fund her campaign at least, are gonna, like, you know, basically be funding the next 4 years of her life through their donations. Anyway, Naturally, the Republicans and Russians knew that a third-party candidate could help Trump grab the presidency. Trump operative Roger Stone had previously used third-party candidates to grab votes from Democrats, and according to 2018 report, the Russians had launched a pro-Stein online campaign promoting Stein and her policies. For example, the employees of Yevgeny Prigozhin-led Troll Factory, Internet research agency, tweeted the phrase Jill Stein over 1,000 times during the election. Wasn't that the guy, Yevgeny Prigozhin? Wasn't he, what's that paramilitary group in Russia called? The Wagner group? Yeah, I think that's who that was. Russians launched pro-Jill Stein social media blitz to help Trump win election, reports say. 2 days before the 2016 presidential election, an Instagram account called @WokeBlacks posted a message in support of long-shot Green Party candidate Jill Stein. The excuse that a lost black vote for Hillary is a Trump win is BS, it said. It could be late, but y'all might want to support Jill Stein instead. According to a report commissioned by the Senate, the account was fake, part of the Russian campaign to sway 2016 presidential election in favor of Donald Trump. Does that sound familiar? During the 2020 election, Jill was hibernating. Excuse me. During the 2020 election, Jill was hibernating, but she's back in the race for 2024 presidential election. She didn't run in 2020, really? Could have swore she was in there for 2020. Oh well. 2024 presidential elections. According to Stein, her main priorities are being anti-war, supporting universal health care, and pledging to stop genocide in Palestine. So, all those pro-Hamas dipshits are going to be voting for her. But it doesn't matter anyway, because they weren't going to vote for Kamala Harris, so no loss there. On September 16th, 2024, Mehdi Hassan interviewed Stein over her policies and presidential bid. In one of the most absurd conversations ever, Hassan asked Stein whether Putin was a war criminal, but she failed to condemn him as one like she did in case of Biden and Netanyahu. Gee, I wonder why. Sure, it has nothing to do with the fact that she's definitely funded by Russia.
And you haven't done that many posts specifically calling out Russian attacks on civilian areas. You haven't called Vladimir Putin a war criminal, but you have called Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal.
No, actually we did. Yeah. In my very first remarks about the Ukraine war, we condemned...
Vladimir Putin's a war criminal in your view.
Yes, we did
and Bashar al-Assad's a war criminal.
Yes, in so many words. Yes, we have said as much.
Many words?
So
you called Netanyahu one, which I think he is.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Is Putin a war criminal?
So what we said about Putin was that his invasion of Ukraine is criminal. It's a criminal and murderous war.
And he's a war criminal who should be on trial.
Well, by implication.
You're struggling here to say something very simple. This is why people have their doubts about you in Russia.
Well,
why is Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal but not Vladimir Putin?
Well, as John F. Kennedy said, we must not be afraid to, we must not negotiate out of fear, and we must not fear to negotiate. So if you want to be an effective world leader, you don't start by name-calling and hurling epithets.
So how will President Stein negotiate with Israel then if you've called Netanyahu a war criminal?
Well, because he very clearly is a war criminal.
So Putin clearly isn't a war criminal?
Well, we don't have a decision, put it this way, by the International Criminal Court.
Yes, we do.
Yes, actually,
actually you're wrong. There's an arrest warrant for Putin. There isn't yet an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. So why is Putin not a war criminal, but Netanyahu is?
Yeah.
I think they both are. You don't.
Let me say this. We are sponsoring that war. We are sponsoring Netanyahu.
That's our war.
He is our dog in this fight. That is why we have a responsibility.
No disagreement from me at all. But that does not answer my question.
With Russia, it's
whether
far
we sponsor them or not
complicated.
is irrelevant. Either you're a war criminal or you're not. Is Vladimir Putin a war criminal?
In so many words, yes, he is.
I don't know what so many words are. Butch, is Vladimir Putin a war criminal?
Let me say that whatever you think he is, if you want to pull him
back...
back...
I think. I'm asking what you think. You're running for president.
If you are a world leader, you don't begin your conversation by calling someone a war criminal unless
So why have you called Biden and Netanyahu war criminals?
Because we have a clear strategy and we have a very strong
Butch,
support
is Bashar al-Assad and Vladimir Putin war criminals in your view?
Yeah, so just absolutely shameless there. In addition, Jill's promoting the main Russian narratives about the war in Ukraine. She's repeating the lie about NATO agreeing to not move 1 inch to the east, spread the lie about the U.S. fomenting a coup where ultranationalists and ex-Nazis came to power. And so I guess these are articles that she read, or... Stein, we should encourage Ukraine to be neutral. We helped foment a coup against a democratically elected government, resulting in a government where ultra-nationalists and I can't see behind the arrow, I'm assuming Nazis came to power. Imagine the inverse if Russia did that in Canada, installed a government, which they're literally trying to do right now. I'll do another story on that one later. We saw something like that in Cuban Missile Crisis. That would be acceptable to, yeah, it's just a bunch of fucking Russian propaganda bullshit. When asked about Crimea, Stein stated that these highly questionable situations and that, these are highly questionable situations and that Russia used to own Ukraine. Yeah, but then the, 1994 Budapest Memorandum happened, you ditzy bitch. In the same interview, she repeated her lie about a U.S. orchestrated coup in Ukraine when asked whether Putin was an incipient despot. Oh, God. Why are you making me look stupid with these big words, guy? She answered, to some extent, yes, but, where am I? Oh, okay. To some extent, yes, but there could be a whole lot worse. Again, blaming NATO and the West for the crisis. We needlessly provoke him and endanger him and surrounding him with war games, neatly forgetting Putin's invasion started with Chechnya in 1999. Thrush, give me a sense of how... Who's Thrush? Thrush. Okay. Thrush, give me a sense of how you sort of view Putin's role. Do you think he's an incipient despot? So, yeah, that's literally exactly what we just read. Okay. And I'm assuming that's Chechnya in 1999, that picture. Stein was also a speaker at the Rage Against the War Machine event, where Vatniks and tankies gathered around to call for the end of aid to Ukraine, bash the US and NATO, and whitewash Russia's war crimes and crimes against humanity in Ukraine. We gave the marching orders to our elected officials. We wanted out of Vietnam, and we got out of Vietnam. The corporate-powered parties are going to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. Aren't going to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. Just the fucking bullshit talking points you hear out of the pro-Hamas group. Factoid. The National Committee of Delegates for the Green Party held a vote to endorse America. Yeah, that's okay. As is tradition, Jill also supported Syria's brutal dictator Bashar al-Assad. In 2016, she deleted a tweet saying that the U.S. should work with Syria, Russia, and Iran to restore all of Syria to control by the Assad government.
Oh no.
You said in November 2015, as Assad and Putin were massacring Syrians in their tens of thousands, quote, the US should be working with Syria, Russia, and Iran to restore all of Syria to control by the government. That's the Assad government.
That was an unapproved statement, which was taken down the moment it was...
You seem to have a lot of things online that you don't approve. Would you tell your supporters at home?
Oh, no.
That's a pretty good point. Anytime somebody mentions that, something that she definitely doesn't want to stand by, she'll just claim that, oh, it was an unapproved tweet. I don't know who tweeted that, but it wasn't me. Which is another fucking annoying thing about presidential candidates. They can all just claim that their campaigns were the ones that tweet out these stupid things on social media, and they can, that's... I don't think they've actually done it yet, but that's definitely what Trump's, strategy is going to be in his upcoming trials with all his inflammatory tweets and whatnot. I mean, he constantly claims he doesn't use a cell phone, so he's going to fucking claim that other people were tweeting things on his behalf. Anyway, back to this. Some, including me, consider her to be a spoiler candidate. Yeah, no shit. A candidate who knows that they have no chance of winning, but who can still affect the vote in battleground states and help the other candidate win. I mean, she did the same thing during the 2016 elections. And she probably thinks that there's probably a better chance of it working now, or she realized how close it was in 2020, and she stayed out in 2020, so she's planning on getting back in there to gum up the works this time, because, she saw how it worked when she was out of the race last time. Third-party voter share in 2024. Biden's 2020 margin. Yeah, I mean, these numbers are pretty goddamn terrifying. 10,000 in Arizona. She's getting 6,000 as of now in Arizona, and 84,000 in Georgia, is that? Yeah, Georgia. That's insane. What the hell is going on in Georgia, man? In Michigan, yeah, well, actually, Michigan's not a surprise because of the high number of Palestinians that live there, but I mean, that's brutal for the margin of victory from 2020, if it's even close to that. I mean, Michigan needs to be a complete blowout for Harris if it's going to be even close. Seem to be safe in Nevada if these numbers are similar to what they were last time, which there's no reason to think that they would be. Just want to clarify that. So, I mean, it's not looking good. If those projections, keep in mind, projections are not accurate most of the time. So, in 2016, the Stein campaign, with the help of the Russians, targeted heavily the African American population. This time, they seem to be focusing on the Muslim vote in swing states, and a recent CAIR survey indicates that this strategy has been fairly successful. Yeah, I'll say, if those numbers are accurate for Michigan. Muslim voters in swing states favor Green Party's Jill Stein, CAIR survey finds. The establishment isn't worried that Muslim voters in swing states are committed to Jill Stein for president. Wisconsin, yeah, I mean, like, where is the Team Stein national poll? I mean, how accurate is that, though? I mean, Arizona, Michigan is about the only one that actually seems accurate of those numbers there. Candidates supported by Muslims in poll. Kamala Harris, 29. Jill Stein, 29. Wow. Jesus, is that close? Uh, 2016, the Stein campaign, with the help of the Russians, targeted... Okay, yeah. While Stein is considered to be a general laughingstock over here on X, her supporters and promoters are running a relatively successful campaign on platforms with younger audiences like TikTok, where she targets mostly Democratic voters. Yeah, I could believe a lot of dumbasses on TikTok.
Oh my goodness, I love this question!
I think...
Jesus.
Endless war machine that's using up half of our congressional budget. A full 50% of that budget is being spent on the war machine, including much of it to Israel. And that war machine results in our not having the money we need to create affordable housing, to provide higher education as a human right.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. No, it actually doesn't. Jill Stein has absolutely no path to win the presidency, but just like she did in 2016, she can help Donald Trump to win. Trump has relatively low support among the U.S. Muslim community, which is why using Stein to get the votes is a brilliant and cunning strategy. Or just kinda the status quo for Russia these days. Or literally ever since 2016. Jill Stein out here liking posts telling people to vote for Trump. I'm not a big account, but please spread this. Dems need to be stopped. Either vote for Trump or... What? Who's tweeting this? Liking... Oh, she liked it. I see. Republican allies boost the longshot candidate Jill Stein as Democrats try to remove her from ballots in battleground states. The New Republic's Peter Rothpletz has claimed that Jill Stein is killing the Green Party and that they should ditch the malignant narcissist responsible for its decline, and when you look at her achievements throughout the years, it's hard to disagree. Yeah, I'd say. I mean, like, she won a couple awards for environmental shit in the 90s and hasn't done shit since, except run as a spoiler candidate, basically. How has Stein fared as a leader? By AOC's perfectly reasonable standard, she's done abysmally. As of July 2024, a mere 143 office holders in the United States is affiliated with the Green Party. None of them are... I can't name... something wide... or federal offices. In fact, no Green Party candidate has ever won federal office, and Stein's reign has been a period of indisputable decline, during which the party's membership, which peaked in 2004 at 319,000 registered members, that's it? Has fallen to 234,000 today. Well, you'd think that, with numbers that small, they wouldn't be able to gum up the works as much as they do, but yeah, it's looking like if these numbers are accurate, I mean, this is terrifying. Where is it? Where is that graph? Yeah, let's hope this is... I mean, these are projections, so... I mean, that's... Michigan is just a lost cause if that's accurate. I mean, Kamala Harris is gonna have to pull out some magic. I mean, she's more popular than Joe Biden now, but like, was she more popular than Joe Biden was in 2020? Because Joe Biden was pretty damn popular. I don't know if he was as popular as she is, but I don't know. It was close. It definitely felt close at the time. Yeah, God, I hate that woman. So, you gotta watch out for these spoiler candidates, guys, because, I mean, they're out there, and even though you may not be paying attention to them, I mean, apparently somebody is. And, you know, it's one more reason I can't wait for people to ban TikTok, because... I mean, let's be honest here. If it's a Chinese app that is banned in China, I mean, what more? How much more of a red flag do you need? Like, come on, people. It's not good enough for our own people, but it's good enough for you stupid Americans. Brilliant. But, yeah, so I think that's about it. That's all I wanted to cover for today. Oh, no. There's, one more that I needed to get to here with Trump's latest rally. I believe it was yesterday or maybe the day before. He he's been showing that cognitive decline a whole hell of a lot lately. And yeah, he confused... I don't even know if he confused Bagram with somewhere in Alaska. Maybe there's somewhere that sounds kind of similar to Bagram, but either way, Bagram is not in Alaska. Bagram is in Afghanistan, and it's not bigger than Saudi Arabia, and there's no fucking oil there, so whatever the hell he's rambling about, who the hell knows, but...
Done in their first... So beautiful to say it. We're energy independent. We were soon going to be energy dominant, and we would have been now having so much money coming out of the energy, we just have the best. We have Bagram in Alaska. They say it might be as big, might be bigger than all of Saudi Arabia. I got it approved. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. I got it done. In their first week, they terminated it. Check that one out. Bagram. Check that one out. Think about this. Between Bagram, between you go to Anwar, you take a look at the kind of things that we've given up. We should have that air base. We should have that oil. We would have had a whole different country. We're energy independent. Sounds so beautiful to say it. We're energy independent.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's just blatantly losing his marbles here. I mean, he's literally not even in Alaska. It's in Afghanistan. It's not bigger than Saudi Arabia, and there's no oil there. So what the hell is he even rambling about? And all these yuppies in the audience also have no clue what he's talking about, but they applaud and cheer for him. Like, oh yeah, sure, we totally know what the hell you're rambling about, Mr. Orange Man. But, you know, I mean, that pretty much sums up every Trump rally. That is true. Wind turbines did create wind and also cancer. So, he's right about that one. Let's see what else he got here. So yeah, I mean, like, the guy's blatantly losing his fucking marbles. I mean, more than he was before. I mean, he's always been a fucking whack job, but I mean, now he's just a complete fucking disaster. I mean, he was dumb the first time around, but now he's like clearly senile and dumb.
For Europe, the Nazis, the invasion of Normandy, and the liberation of Europe. A brilliant star shone in the east, wise men traveled far. Really big beneficiaries. Whole state to be a sanctuary for criminal. Shield and shelter criminal. Look, wait. The members of our armed forces, and you understand that very well. And the internet, if you think about this, rich traditions of this convention. Expectations in the House for the midterm and midterm year. Waive all applicable state taxes despite these obstacles, Karen. The Central Command response and crisis response. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. As Hurricane Irma approaches. And he voted for Obama amnesty. By a sleazebag lawyer named Abiante. That's what the United Nations is all about. Will not be tolerated any longer. Merry Christmas, everybody. We just have to say it. You know, we just said another stock market. You saw that, right? The stock market. And to replace chasms of distrust ever foisted upon the American people. And then they announced there was no buys, no. Seek real bipartisan solutions. Made a pivotal, really, and I mean this was pivotal. Reauthorized the 9/11 victims. In April of 2014, our Army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. These historic accomplishments shades our embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. It's great to be back in Missouri, Ghana, Guinea, Nambia, Jerusalem. Thank the Minneapolis police. Venezuela's working to improve his country and government. And God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
Jesus.
In chief, the Continental Army suffered a bitter winter of Valley Forge, found glory across the waters of the Delaware, and seized victory from Cornwallis of Yorktown. Our Army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. And at Fort McHenry, under the rockets...
Took over the Revolutionary War airports. You know, all those airports that were around in the Revolutionary War? 22,000, 28,000.
We got Mexico to send 28,000 troops. Remember this?
Yeah, he's a big numbers guy. 2,000, 28,000. Yeah, that's the businessman I want running the country. Oh my god. And then, yeah, the explanation for how magnets work. You remember that one from a couple months ago?
It didn't work. They had an almost $1 billion cost overrun on the magnetic elevators. Think of it, magnets. Now, all I know about magnets is this. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets. Why didn't they use John Deere? Why didn't they bring in the John Deere people? Do you like John Deere? I like John Deere.
What the fuck is he rambling about? You pour water on magnets. I mean, like, maybe he's just talking about like electromagnet. I can't even guess what the hell he was trying to go for there.
The radical left thugs who have weaponized law enforcement to arrest their leading political opponent, and leading by a lot, including Obama. I'll tell you what, you take a look at Obama and take a look at some of the things that he's done. This is the same thing. The country is very divided. And we did with Obama.
He thinks he beat Obama. Like, he sounds like a senile old... Well, he is a senile old man, but he's like clearly losing his goddamn mind. He keeps on saying Nikki Haley instead of Nancy Pelosi. He thinks he beat Obama, and he's rambling about Hannibal Lecter and sharks.
We are a nation where fentanyl and other forms of illegal drugs are...
Okay, this one, he's literally reading off a teleprompter, and he still can't do it.
Easier to get than groceries to
staring at the teleprompter.
Feed our beautiful families. We have become a drug-infested, crime-ridden nation, which is incapable of solving even the smallest problem. The simplest of problems we can no longer solve. We can't do anything. We are an institute and a powerful death penalty. We will put this on. We are an institute and a powerful death penalty.
What the fuck does that mean? And look at his face at this rally. How much of that shit is he smearing on there these days? I mean, like, remember him before? Like, I mean, like, it was pretty bad there. That was back in 2020. But like, look at him now, man. I mean, it's borderline blackface these days. I mean, this is ridiculous. Yeah, this is the Nikki Haley mix-up. I mean...
Never reports the crowds, you know. By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley...
He says it 4 times.
You know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything? Deleted and destroyed all of it. All of it. Because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people.
Which, by the way, also isn't true, even if he did get the name right. But this pretty much summarizes every Trump speech ever given.
Donald Trump on deface the nation. Back and forth. Donald Trump was unable to get the words out. Well, sir, I'd rather remain neutral. I want to see the people in charge of the catapult. Sir, I'm a catapulter. How do you wake up in the morning and put on your pants? No, you cannot do that, Donald. Think of it, magnets. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets. Border. Bags of crap. How would you like to buy a pillow from Mike Lindell? Mike would be dead tomorrow morning. Nobody would know. Beat up, molested, or shot. The wheelchair over the cliff, right? But I have worse than Al Capone. I'm a very aesthetic person. Like you young guy in the front with a beautiful hat on. I said, he said, look at me, he goes, why do you keep saying I'm going to? I keep saying I'm not. I said, you're going to, 100% you're going to. Would you like to make a bet? We'll make a bet. And he said, no, I don't understand what you're getting at. I said, here's the story. They're either very stupid or they're trying to destroy the nation. Does that all make sense? The people of Iowa just voted against him. He's the president.
Yeah, and he looks like he's on his deathbed these days. I mean, he's he's gone downhill so much. I mean, like, he didn't have far to go in the first place, and he's just a mess these days. Like, what the hell? And that's what half the country is like, yep, that's my guy. Yeah, that guy right there with all the shit smeared on his face. And I mean, that can't be a spray tan thing. I mean, that's got to be like self-applied like the Joker every morning before he goes out. And that was the thing with the mask, too, during COVID. And one of his, I think it was Hutchison or whatever his aide's name was, said, like, the first time he wore the mask, he took it off and he saw a bunch of orange smudges on it, so he said that he didn't want to wear it anymore, and that's why he made up a bunch of bullshit about how masks didn't work, and now, like, the maggots are, like, that's their main talking point against masks, is how masks don't work, and they're... that kind of backfired on him when, like, the majority of the deaths from COVID were in red states. But, you know, he doesn't mind killing his own voters because, hell, he doesn't give a crap about them. Actually, he's literally said it multiple times that he doesn't care about them. He just wants their votes, and they don't seem to mind all that much. Where's that video? Let's see. Let's see here. Don't care about you. I just want your vote. There it is. Like, these are how dumb his supporters are. You can literally tell them he doesn't care about them, and they'll still vote for him. Come on.
Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
And they laugh. Ha 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 ha. He doesn't care about us. What a great guy. Ha ha ha. And remember during that snowstorm in January, I think it was, in like New Hampshire or New Jersey or something, he just blatantly said that it doesn't matter if you come out to vote and pass away as long as I get your vote.
Even if you vote and then pass away, it's worth it.
Every time, it's just, oh, it's so funny, he doesn't care about us at all. Like, Jesus, these people are nuts, man. But, yeah, you know, I mean, that's how much he cares about people. That's the guy you want running your country. He's clearly going to do good things for you. The guy that, you know, says you need to get over school shootings, but we're all supposed to give a flying fuck about the scratch on his ear.
It's horrible to see that happening. That's just horrible. So surprising to see it here. But we'll have to get over it.
Got to get over it. Hey, yeah, you parents of all those dead kids, you gotta get over it because he wants your vote. Yeah, okay, well, I don't know, the stream seemed to be working a little bit better the second time around, although it's only been under an hour, so, I don't know, I mean, I guess the settings are working a little bit better now. CBR seems to be better than VBR. If anybody actually knows anything about this shit, feel free to shoot me a message and help me out so my stream stops being absolute dog shit. And I will do my part on the content side of things to make sure that it's a little bit better quality-wise. Teamwork is how the dream works. So, thanks for watching and tuning in, and remember to subscribe and like and comment and all that, but more importantly, remember to register to vote, because, man, these Republicans are on a mission to strip everybody of their rights and turn the country into Nazi Germany, apparently. So, yeah, that's, fun. Anyway, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Probably not this late. A little bit earlier next time, hopefully.